I have so much love for bubble skirts. I think they are perfect. First of all, they're easy to make. I'm going to show you how to do it today. But I just think that it's like a great way to take a classic silhouette and make it more interesting. Like anytime you just want to wear a regular skirt, puff it up a bit. Why not? This is going to be a self-drafting tutorial, so I'll show you how to take your own measurements and make a skirt that's custom fit to you based on those. All you need to cut out is a few rectangles. So it's super, super simple. This pattern was originally published in the Q4 2024 issue of Material Girls magazine, which is a free fiber art magazine. You can download it at the link below. There are free knitting, crochet, and sewing patterns in there. If you want to see the written pattern for this piece, you can find it in there, as well as lots of other maker profiles and fiber arts girly fun. Let's get right into the materials. You're going to need about 2 to 3 yards or meters of fabric. I'm using 1 to 2 yards of my main fabric and approximately 1 yard or meter of lining, along with an elastic that is about 3/4 to 1 inch wide, and the basics like scissors, pins, threads, bobbins, and measuring tape. You'll need to take a few measurements in order to self-draft your pattern. So start by taking your waist measurement. This is the smallest part of your waist, usually around your belly button. So make sure to note that down and then measure your hip measurement. This is the widest part of your hips, usually right around your butt. And you're going to note that down as well, and also figure out how long you want your skirt to be. I usually make mine about 15 inches or 38 centimeters long. Now for a bit of math, I'm going to put a few equations up on the screen. You can screenshot them, and what you're going to do is input the measurements that you just took to figure out how long and how wide each of your pattern pieces should be. This is just a series of different rectangles, so it's super simple, super easy to do, and you can make it custom to you. This will work for both inches or centimeters. When you have everything cut out, you should have 2 pieces of your main outer fabric, 2 pieces of lining, and 2 pieces for your waistband. Let's get sewing. You're going to start by placing your 2 outer skirt pieces good sides together and sew down either side of it. So that will be the length that you're sewing down. We're going to do the same thing with lining. So place your 2 lining pieces good sides together and sew down either length. These are the short sides, and it's just going to be a basic stitch. So you can see here I have both sides of my outer fabric. I'm going to sew down each of those and then do the same thing with the lining. I'm sewing down the length on either edge, so these will now become the side seams. Take those over to the sewing machine, and this is just going to be a very basic stitch down, and when you're done with that, it's time to get to some fun gathering. Once you've finished your side seams, you're going to open up and we're going to gather along the entire bottom hem of the outer skirt. So to gather fabric, make sure to switch your machine over to a long stitch length, and all we're going to do is do a basic stitch, but at the end do not back stitch. You don't want to finish this stitch off. You just want to lift the foot of your sewing machine up, pull a bit of the thread out, and cut it with some length, because we're going to kind of zhuzh the fabric down that length to gather things up. You can do one big line around the entire skirt, but because it is quite a bit of fabric, I tend to split it up and just do it between each side seam. That means I can handle the gathering just a little bit easier. So all you're doing is scrunching the fabric up along that loose thread, and you want to gather it enough that it matches up exactly with the width of your lining piece. When you've got it just about right, you're going to place the lining and the outer skirt pieces right sides together. So this means turn the lining piece right side out and place it completely inside of the outer skirt. Make sure to match up both seams, and then you can grab some pins and begin pinning around the entire bottom of the skirt. This is going to be the bottom hem, and we're about to do the fun part, which is revealing the bubble hem. So you're going to sew around the entire bottom hem of the skirt, making sure that you do it to the left of the gathering line, just so that it gets hidden and you don't see it on the outside when you're done. Reminder to change your stitch length back, because I always forget this, and then just go to the sewing machine and do a simple stitch all the way around. Time for the magic. You can pull the skirt right side out, and because the lining is shorter than the outer skirt fabric, the lining is going to pull that skirt up nice and make this beautiful bubble hem. I find it so satisfying how it looks on the inside. Now the waistband is going to hold it all together, so take your 2 waistband pieces and place them right sides together and sew down each short side. Optionally, you can do some ironing here. It will make your life easier. All you would do is fold one long edge of the waistband over approximately 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 centimeters and press it down. You'll see in a second why this becomes handy, so I do recommend. There's a bit more gathering to do with your outer skirt fabric, so make your stitch length long again and do just another big gathering piece around the entire top of the skirt. You're going to scrunch that all down until it matches the top of your lining. When it's all even and matched up, bring and your waistband, and we're going to bring this all together. So you're going to place the entire waistband around the top of the skirt, making sure that the pressed edge is at the bottom and the unfinished edge is at the top. Make sure that all seams are matched up. So we have 3 seams to match up here. Lining, outer skirt, and waistband all need to be matched up on both sides of the skirt before you can grab your pins and start pinning around the entire top of the skirt. Remember that you can adjust your gathering as you go, so as long as the seams stay pinned together and matched up, if you need to move anything around to make it all lay nice and even and matched up, you can do that as you go and pin around the entire top. Then you're going to sew around the entire top to sandwich all of those things together. To complete the waistband, flip it behind your skirt so it's on the inside and place that pressed edge along the stitch that you just made. So you can see how this is really helpful in hiding that raw edge. You can just flip it under, but I find that pressing it makes this so much easier. You're going to go around and pin around the entire skirt to hold this in place. When you go to sew all of this together, you're going to know exactly where to sew because everything is lined up on that seam that you originally made. So what you're going to do is sew from the front of the fabric and sew directly in this seam here over the gathering. This way you know that you can control what it looks like on the front, but that it will catch the waistband on the back because you've got it all lined up. You're going to sew around the entire thing, but leave a few inches open so that you can insert your elastic in the next step. You can see here I'm sewing directly into the seam, which basically hides the stitch and also catches all the fabric together that we want. Then it's time to finish it off with elastic. Cut a piece of elastic that measures the same as your waist measurement, and then use a big safety pin to feed it through this entire waistband. So through the hole you can put the safety pin and then feel it as it goes through and catch both ends of the elastic and sew them together to make it nice and strong. I did a square and it doesn't look particularly nice, but I just like to feel like it's nice and secure. So do whatever shape you need to do that, and then you can just pull the entire elastic into your waistband. It gathers everything up nicely and your skirt is ready to go once you have just sewn up this little hole on the waistband. It's simple as that. I have been obsessed with this pattern ever since I realized that these bubble skirts are really just a bunch of poofy fabric all put together. I think that it's so simple, which makes it so fun to make. I've already made it in multiple different colors. I have a red gingham one, I have a black one, so I feel like I have both like some color and pattern to play with and also just a nice staple. I know that all autumn and throughout the winter I'm going to be having fun making different tight combinations, different sock combinations, and just pairing them with different shirts and everything to make some nice fun textured looks. Make sure to subscribe to Material Grrrlz. Take a scroll through. We have lots of free sewing, knitting, and crochet tutorials up, and you can also head to materialgrrrlz.com to read all past issues of Material Grrrlz magazine, which have even more free knitting, crochet, and sewing patterns, as well as more fun. I love putting these out, love pairing the video tutorials with them, so please make sure to subscribe to both the magazine and the video tutorials. I will link all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to tag Material Grrrlz in your skirts because I would love to see them, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!